Hello and welcome to Popcorn and Plot Holes.
Popcorn and plot holes.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to. I didn't get full Skarsgård. Popcorn and Plot Holes.
Hey, like the R has to be like its own syllable.
Look what he did to Spencer.
And you have way too many tones. It's got to be just one tone, monotone.
Yeah.
You're
Popcorn.
You're too animated. I said nobody ever
exactly.
about Matt.
Yeah, I'm way too excited. My bad.
we
We watched 2025. Was it this year?
2024.
2024's Nosferatu, yet another Robert Eggers film. I'm not sure anybody should let that guy make films. You know what? I'm burying the lead.
You're burying the lead
Bill
very early.
Skarsgård penis vehicle.
Yeah. Skarsgård dong vehicle.
Swedish dong
It was
vehicle.
Skarsdong
It happened?
vehicle.
Yeah,
Did you watch this movie?
I'm so glad I
thought
missed that.
I thought this movie was called Dicula.
Yeah. I specifically have a note that says I did not need to see Nosferatu.
Dongula.
Nosferatu.
Dongula.
I have a note that says ejacula.
All great work. With me, as always, we have Luciano.
Yes, Ferratu, I guess.
Yeah. Spencer.
Count Orcock.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep
And
these
Chris.
coming.
Boo, Sferatu. Boo.
Bearing the lead as always, we are going to talk about something positive about this movie, just in case. I don't know. Who knows? But just in case someone didn't like this movie.
Yeah.
Let's start with, let's go positive with Yas Ferratu.
Yes.
I had to change it after that. I had to change it. So my favorite thing about this whole movie was when Thomas gets to the Romanian village where everybody's making fun of him for no reason and laughing, and the tavern owner comes up to the people that are following him and says, "May the holy mind of God bugger the lot of you." And I was like, that is the best fucking put down I have ever heard in my life. I have to use this in some way.
In your place of work?
Sure. I want to get fired.
These files are late. May the holy hand of God bugger you.
Based on your
that was my
employee,
favorite thing about this
based
movie.
on the feedback your coworkers have given us, there's a lot of room for growth, Luciano.
Bugger the lot of them.
Bugger them all.
And bugger you too. And bugger you too. Yeah.
Oh my
That
god.
will be the Prince of
my
Rats.
favorite part of this movie.
I mean, you do.
No.
And I will bugger the lot of them.
Providence!
Spencer, why don't you go next?
I mean, I think the standout for the movie is just like instead of picking a scene, I'll just pick the cinematography, which was fucking incredible. I thought like as good as it gets. So,
What do you mean by
just
cinematography?
the movie looked like, in my opinion, like fucking awesome. Like when he was Thomas was like going into that cart walking in the woods.
With the horses?
And the carriage pulls up and there's no driver. It's like each of those scenes was like you could take a freeze frame and like make a poster. It's just really great.
In the beginning, where Ellen is like hallucinating and you only see the shadow of Nosferatu on the curtains, is pretty
There's a
cool.
lot of like really good shots. So
So it's just
visually like
stunning
fucking
movie,
so good. One of the best visual like.
Yeah.
I just want to say cinematography, but production design, like all of it coming together to make it just look really, really cool.
Yeah, you sound like a douche when you
I
say
know.
cinematography. When we say it look real pretty.
Yeah, look.
Now we know what
It
you
looked
mean.
good. I like this dong. I like the camera.
The dong
Oh,
shading
oh,
was
it was
accurate.
Perfect.
All this talk about cinematography is because you like the dong. That's
That
it.
clears it up.
Some sweet dog
Cocula.
action. Chris.
Cockula.
Okay. Count
Cockferatu.
Oculus chocolate cereal box. Oh, okay.
Don't eat that.
Yeah, don't. Okay. How do I do this? This is.
You just gotta pick something you liked about the
I'm
movie.
trying.
It's not that hard.
It is hard.
This is like the only thing we do every show. You
Nope.
should have been prepared for this.
You can't prepare for Cocula. Now, this movie, if I was to try to
Just clip
That's
that.
on the
Clip
VHS.
that. Clip that.
Nobody expects the Bohemian Inquisition.
Listen, okay, so I think the interpretation of Orlok as Nosferatu and this Dracula-esque character, I think it's an interesting modern take. Like, it's not Dracula, as I've been educated, but I think it's a unique caricature. I don't want to say caricature, but what I'm trying to say is because I really enjoy like character
Not
design,
Dracula.
and I enjoyed what
It's Cocula.
not, but what they've given us. You wanted Dracula, but you got
Nosferatu.
2024 new and improved because
You
never
put
seen
some
it
respect on Nosferatu.
Cocula now with dick-lick hair. Now, so character design. I appreciated the design of his character. That's what I have to say.
Oh, that was digging deep.
Fucking the biggest stretch in the
I
history of
told
time
you.
and space.
I told you.
I was stretched more than the foreskin on his dong, but I digress.
Someone had to say it. Someone had to say it.
I liked two things, and I'm going to combine them because it was the same energy and feel. And it's Professor. I guess he wasn't a doctor.
He
Professor
wasn't a
Alvin
professor either.
Eberhard von Franz and Dr. He wasn't a
Malpractice.
doctor either.
Dr.
Knock.
Malpractice.
Herr Knock. The very, very German Herr Knock, who spoke in perfect Old English. They both brought the exact energy I needed to this movie, which was, I don't give a fuck what you're trying to do here. I'm just going to chew the scenery.
Yes.
Like a pigeon head in a prison under the hospital. I really enjoyed their energy because it helped break up what was I'm sure it was supposed to be a very atmospheric movie, but it was the same atmosphere all the time. And so it just kind of landed flat. So they were fun characters who were just having fun with the movie, screaming Providence.
You just enjoy hearing Willem Dafoe repeat the sentence "cockscrow" over and over again.
The more dick references I can get in the movie, the better it is for me. Whether it's real
It's a
dick
veritable
or cock
buffet.
crow.
Really and truly.
It really was. I appreciate that. Let's talk about this movie
If
at
we
large.
must.
If we must. We in the
shall.
pre-show when we were getting our questions together and talking about this movie, there was confusion amongst us in terms of what the fuck a Nosferatu is, what the fuck a Dracula is, what the fuck Twilight is. Now we understand that's bullshit, but
Listen.
it should never sparkle.
Yeah.
But really, the first confusing part of this movie is the fact that this movie takes liberally from the Nosferatu story and from,
Bram Stoker, yeah.
I guess, Bram Stoker's. It feels like it's just dabbling in whatever Dracula lore it wants to do things, and so it mixes it together, right?
It's basically the original Nosferatu movie was an unlicensed, like, rip-off
Yes.
of Dracula.
Bram Stoker?
Yeah, of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Much like, those crappy modern day, like where they don't have the
Dracula.
rights to it, so instead of Pacific Rim, they'll call it like Atlantic Rim.
Atlantic
Exactly.
Rim.
So it was
Atlantic
that is
Wolf.
the
factual.
first version of
Oh, wow.
that. And then they so they changed like Van Helsing to Von whatever the fuck his name is. They changed Dracula to Nosferatu, but it's really like almost the exact same story with some tweaks. And then the estate that owned Dracula like sued them and got them to destroy all the copies of the original movie, but they didn't destroy them all. Some survived, and then it became like a film classic because it's well made and shot and was very original in its filmmaking. So it became like kind of like history. So this is like almost a direct remake of the original Nosferatu. Like it's almost the exact same story.
Did you say
I did.
erect?
Yeah, he did.
It is an erect remake of Ejacula.
Okay.
So that's why it's like you're like, is this Dracula? Is it? Yes, it is. It's just like the no-name off-brand version of Dracula.
Very well. Then.
It's the RC Cola
it feels
to
like,
Dracula's
Hey.
Pepsi.
There you go.
It feels like because I've read the and this is coming from Wikipedia, so take what you want from this whole line of questioning, but it feels like what was in the original Nosferatu movie based on that, and how this movie ends. They like added in an extra hour of stuff from when Nosferatu lands in Weisberg till when he finally like nails, or Ellen nails him. I don't know who nailed anybody. It was a lot of weird blood. This is I'm going to digress here for a second. It's my fault. How do you suck blood out of someone's chest when you bite into like the bone?
He bites into their heart.
What the fuck?
That's not where your heart is.
No,
There's
bites
a
right where
bone there.
There's a
You think you
bone.
can't get through bone? Come on.
Yeah,
Based on
I don't-
the
what are you
puncture and
showing
what
me?
happens. Yes.
maybe that's why he had to drink so much blood, because he kept on trying and couldn't get any.
He went bone and marrow first, and then try to get like it's like trying to get out of a hole by digging down.
And that's why he died in the morning. Anyways, my point was, it seemed like there's a lot more going on in this movie in the last third. Like I didn't recall the scene where Craven bangs his dead wife's corpse in there.
Straight from the
Fucking
1922
grave.
original. They were very ahead of ahead of their time. Racy? I don't know. Behind in the times?
Yes, I don't know.
No, I don't
Behind
believe
the
the necrophilia was in the original soundless version. Just imagine
So, like,
like the
we're gonna get-
guy grabs his wife and it like cuts to the dialogue. Oh, my poor wife. And it cuts back. Nice.
And you have to
Yeah,
write it
that's
on
what
the
I'm saying.
screen, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and then he
Yeah,
bangs
and then
the
it's just
corpse.
a violin playing.
I'm pretty sure in quotes it's just like an 8 and a bunch of equal signs, like capital
Yeah.
D, and then a bunch of little
Yeah.
like minus
the
signs.
first
Two
ever
X's for
emoji
eyes
used
and
in
like a
history.
sad face.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to him at the end, and he has a kerchief, and he's like, dab dab.
Awkward silence.
But like, so I'm banging on this movie, and the reality is it's not a bad movie. It's just not a good movie. It's a confusing movie, and I'm curious, like when you guys watch this movie, like what is it like? Whenever you watch a movie, it's like, oh, what is this movie trying to tell you? Like, what do you think this movie was trying to tell you, or what story or feeling or like emotion was it trying to invoke? Because I don't
Horniness.
know. Look at
Oh,
this.
that
dick.
one-
It is a
one
very
it
horny
did.
movie.
I mean, yeah, but like, it doesn't make any sense.
It makes
as to
sense.
how horny it is.
Listen, I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
Explain it to me.
I know everybody hated it. Hating it's the cool thing to do these days. I actually like this movie because I am a
Wrong.
snob, a pretentious film, and I want to feel special. But I actually did like a lot of this movie. I didn't love this movie, but they are saying a lot of things, in terms of.
The dialogue.
Say it.
Wait,
They said
I
a
don't
lot
want
of
to get into a
things.
long diatribe.
Tell me what they're saying. At no point have you said anything of value.
So the theme of the movie.
Now, you did for this podcast what this movie did for
So
movies.
the theme.
yes.
Just quiet, Drew. So the theme of this movie is like about loneliness, as well as like dealing with like the misogyny back of the time, and like how lonely it is when you're dealing with mental health and stuff in the time, and that isolation led her to.
Spencer, where did you read this?
I don't read. You know this. I watched film
What
breakdowns on
YouTube video
YouTube.
did you watch? Exactly.
I watched.
That's the problem.
Yeah, don't
Someone
Don't
had
call
to
me
tell
out on
you
my-
what
my
this movie
flaws.
meant.
we discussed this.
Sorry. Everybody who heard that, forget you heard that,
Yes.
and let Spencer continue.
I by myself determined these things. No, like even when I was watching it, I got away from it that it was just like she is at the beginning she's like desperate, and she calls for like anything. She's like praying to God for anything to help her, and basically Nosferatu answers, right? and then basically he's
Sure.
like, basically she has like a special ability or a natural ability that she can't really comprehend, and so she's like desperate for any kind of answer, and then he's like, I'll basically give
Accept the charges.
I'll accept the charges.
I'll pick up the
and he like basically like gives her like a kind of a twisted form of love, which like makes her feel less alone, which lets her get through life until she meets Thomas, and then that is enough to make her be sane. And then basically her crazy ex-boyfriend comes back.
You're just explaining the plot.
What
of
I'm
the
trying to
movie
say
me,
is
and I
the
still
theme of the
don't
movie is that
understand.
women need a man to keep them sane. Because that's,
Oh, there
that's
we
kind
go.
of the message when you really step back. Is if
There we go. Now we got
needs
there.
is a man.
I don't know. To me, it felt like the movie was going out of its way to try to be like off-putting and like weird it would try to be scary,
Hmm.
and it ended up just being strange. At least that's like like I was at any point I was not scared or even tense. Like I was just like, what the fuck is going on? I asked that question so many times when I was watching this movie, and I feel like Roger, whatever his face is, the director,
Robert Eggers.
or that,
Rogers.
yeah, it's his brother, Roger.
Roger
brother
Flubbers.
Roger Baconers.
Yeah, there you go. The director, I feel like he was too focused on being like artsy fartsy about it, and I don't know, he lost the plot in there.
No.
I went in expecting a
Yeah,
scary movie, like
that
a
was your
genuinely
mistake.
scary movie. I guess.
No, I think that what this movie is guilty of is like, I think he wanted to make a true remake of the original, but the plot of the original is very bare bones, especially by modern standards. So he tries.
It's also very anti-Semitic. the
Quite
original.
true. How dare you
Very.
accuse the 1930s
Are you saying quite you or quite Jew? I can't
quiet
tell.
Jews?
He
The
can say it.
How dare you
He
say
can
that
say it.
1920s Germans were racist against Jews? But no,
Yeah.
I think the plot was very bare bones, and he was like, I got to make like every plot point in this movie have a deeper meaning. It's like, oh, at the end, it's it's not just him like forgetting that the sun's coming up. It's like we have to make this like emotional connection where he's so enamored with her, and he's like her. It's like basically making it deeper than it is to,
Yeah, I understand what his intention was, but I feel like he was so focused on making it look good, and I use good liberally here, and he forgot because like at the end it was like I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yes.
Did he die because he drank
No.
her blood, or did he die
Yes.
because the sun came up? Or
The book very clearly describes that a maiden had to bang him till
Yes.
sunrise, and then he would
Cock's
die.
crow.
he got
The cock's crow.
he was too deep on the sauce. He was
Doing the
going
pain.
into the pain too hard, and what happened was the sun killed him, and basically, like he has this like control over people and her, and basically his weakness was her. She had that control over him, where he was so enamored with her he couldn't control himself.
Pull
So
out.
what you're-
He couldn't
He couldn't
pull out.
So Spencer, what you're telling me is that women will trick
Mhm.
men with
Oh,
their
no.
vaginas.
oh no,
Put a
Don't
baby.
trust women.
Put a baby.
That's
in
what I
me.
heard. That's an anchor baby. That's a trap.
Oh, what is happening?
I don't know.
And he's
I'm just
asking
asking questions and Spencer's
and I'm just doing
confirming.
my best to answer them logically, and failing.
Oh no.
No, but like this is the problem with this movie to me, and I have the same problem when I watch The Northman, which is another Robert Eggers movie where it's a tale of Vikings and sometimes there's mysticism in it, and there's other times where it's like he just wants revenge against the guy who killed his dad, and the movie kind of just meanders around, and at one point Nicole Kidman, who's his mom, tries to bang him, and it's the same shit. It's just like, you guys can't throw creepy sex in here because you like it. Like, you need to make this movie make sense. And it feels
Don't
like this
insult my
movie
porn. I mean,
is
my
on the
movie.
well, it feels like this movie is on the cusp of telling us a story, and other times it's just like, oh, I'm also horny. So
The
let me do
horniness
this weird
was
shit over
the
here
part
for a
of the
second.
movie.
But
But that
how?
doesn't make it right or good.
Just because you're horny and you put horniness in your movie doesn't
No,
mean the horniness.
Part of the
added.
layer, I mean, whether you like it or not, part of the thing about this movie was like the sexual connection. Like basically, drinking blood was a very sexual thing in the movie in general. It's,
Oh
that's-
yeah,
that's-
you can tell.
That is the standard,
Yeah.
like one, first
Yeah,
day
of
of
course.
Dracula.
But in the movie, it's like she. You notice the first scene with her and her husband. It's like she wanted to have sex with him, and he was like, "I have to go sell real estate." So she's like,
Houses
she's
or
like
whatever,
sexually
yeah.
repressed in a time where it's wrong for women to be sexually active. So she's so repressed, and then like Nosferatu is kind of like basically like a sexual deviant almost awakening it in her. It's like there's like this sub layer of like of
yeah, but here's my
I'm
problem.
not
with
smart
this.
enough to get it
You
all.
only know this because someone
No, that
told
part I
you,
figured out myself.
And-
I didn't read that part.
but I don't even think that's like necessarily
Maybe it's not.
true. That's the problem is,
Yeah,
and maybe the problem isn't that that's not true. It's that there's so many things going on that you can't figure out what the theme or the conversation he's trying to have with you.
well, especially because her reaction is so random towards him, right? Like
Yes.
in the same breath, she was like, "Oh, you never satisfy me like he did. Oh, fuck me!" Like she's talking to, like, and it's like, what is happening there? Is it like a conflict or is it just bad acting?
Is she
it
being
both? I
controlled by
don't
the
know.
demons? Is
Yeah.
she not? Like,
And it's not clear. Like any one answer would have been fine, but he picked like which one of these 7 options is it? And he goes yes.
Listen,
Yeah.
Right.
the
That's the problem.
you're looking at it too literally. This movie basically,
How are you supposed
this
to look
movie
at
is
it then?
basically a high budget student art film. Like there's the story,
Right.
but it's like,
that
but it's
I
like,
agree
but
with.
it's all about like the symbolism and the fucking like undertones than it is like straight up answers.
yes, and why does he then lay out the way to kill Nosferatu in like exacting detail, including a picture in a fucking picture book?
How,
To like,
Yeah.
she's got
how
to
is
bang
she
him
supposed?
till
How is she
cocks
supposed to know
crow.
he can't bang him till he dies?
No, but like this is my thing. It's like it's all this layered subtext, and like you're supposed to figure it out, which is cool. I get it. Like I don't have to understand the art all the time. But then the end of the movie is like, oh fuck, here's the exact thing you need to know to do this.
And also all of the other things that happen in this movie have no like influence in the end or what needs to be done whatsoever.
You mean everything
Like
to do
this-
with Anna and Craven?
All of it.
No.
Craven banging the
That
bones
part
of his wife or
was-
boning the bones of his wife.
I will agree that
And,
was
like
very unnecessary.
no, but
Even I
even
can't
the
come up
rest,
with
like
a
all of
pretentious
the
explanation for why he banged his wife.
like if Ellen had gone with Thomas to fucking Transylvania and banged him there, the movie would have
But she
ended
wasn't
in 15 minutes.
She wasn't
Yeah,
allowed
but,
to
like,
go.
Well, okay, but yes, but this is where my confusion comes in. If she had gone with Thomas, what would have happened to this? Well, I guess the best scenario would have been that this movie would have finished a lot sooner, and then if Orlok got access to Ellen, what would the end game be beyond? What lies beyond the end game?
There is no end game.
If he has one.
He said
Okay,
in the
so
movie, he said, "I am an appetite."
He did.
He's just like, he doesn't have a long term goal. He just like
Yeah.
wants her because he lost her, and he's like obsessed with her. Just
Yeah.
So I always understood, and not just with this movie, but like whenever it's a movie about vampires and it's not Twilight, and it's a story that tries to be decent, it's always about it being a curse. Yes, they live forever. Yes, they have powers, but they have to drink blood. They can't see the sun. They're lonely. All of that stuff. And to me, the idea of Nosferatu was always he wants to be with her to end the curse. He wants to die, but he can't die. Right? That was my understanding. But then this movie kind of shits on it because he's not doing this almost. It feels like he's not doing this because he wants to do it. If he's doing this because he feels
No.
compelled to do it. Almost like she has
a
power
lot
over
of
him too.
video essayists are saying that he part of it is he did want to die, but he just didn't want to die alone, and he wanted to take her with him.
I get that.
Huh.
Well,
that is an extreme
reach.
That is the challenge with watching a movie. Well, it's just like you're fitting the puzzle pieces into the puzzle.
Yeah, you don't have the box cover of the puzzle, and you're just making.
Well, that's but that's an interpretation. Like I personally thought that it was like he was just so obsessed with her that he like lost all focus.
I'm fine with that. Like,
his
he's
lust.
So
he didn't even care he was dying. He wanted it so bad.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. But like saying he want,
and that's why Robert Eggers is saying never put the pussy on a pedestal.
It's all about the dicula. Goes for hose.
Okay, so all that said, then he. Okay, so given what the rest of you guys, no, I'm just processing. No, I'm not speechless. I'm not speechless. Given what we've been discussing so far, like the curse, the immortality, the hunger. I think he to a point he was aware of time, aware of the cost, but then
Chris, you're talking about Orlok, right?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. When you were saying that Spencer was trying to like fit the puzzle, like force the puzzle pieces together, I don't know. I think he was aware, and I think there's some validity to him wanting to not wanting to die alone, or putting the pussy on a pedestal, because he didn't try to separate himself, and then when the sun came up, like not once did he like how long does it take to really remove, like to suck the blood out of a body? Like,
well, if you're biting through the chest, a long
really
time.
So this is why this is like he's stupid. He deserved to die. His methods were beyond archaic, beyond
I think there's.
I mean, that's the thing, though, right? He's an uneven character. That is the crux of for me. That's the crux of this.
I don't think he's uneven. I think he's just a flawed monster. That's just like.
No, but he's flawed. He is flawed in a way that is kind of nonsensical.
And it's nonsensical, and I was going to say comedic. Yes.
Why is he nonsensical? He wants to. He wants to be with this girl, and eat her.
Yes.
In both ways.
100%. Great. Yeah, I get it. But then also he makes this convoluted plan of 5 years. Why does he have to buy this house in Weisberg in order to come? Why? Like, I guess it's just a ruse to get Thomas to sign her the marriage rights away.
Which were meaningless.
Why does he care? Why does he care about
this is the thing. She has to give herself willingly to him. But every step of the way, she is unwilling. And so I'm just like...
He pissed her
he's not
off.
Smart.
Like,
we didn't say he was smart.
Correct.
Yeah, but then, like, okay, but like, it's just another thing where it's like, but is he smart? Because he seems like he's smart enough to like get this whole master plan and control people and manipulate.
I mean, even he's like, I got this contract signed.
Yeah, fair.
He's like, your husband. I was like, oh no, he signed her away. He's like, your husband signed you away. He gave you away. He doesn't love you. And she's like, that's bullshit. And he's like, oh, like that, like it goes nowhere. Like that's the end of it in that one conversation.
He signed this document no one can read.
Yes. All right. And he goes like, oh, you have to come to me of your own volition or of your own will.
Free will.
And if you don't, I'm going to kill everyone you love. Like, what the fuck?
Because he was following the Betty Nosferatu Crocker recipe book of how to steal a wife. And it's like you must follow steps 1 through 15, and or rather 1 through 1500, where you need to secure some land because land is everything.
They want a man with land.
It's positioning is everything. Neighborhood, location, and then you got to get into the mind of your target audience. And like wow, Betty Nosferatu Crocker, vampire grandma. This is some.
I'd watch that movie.
As my ancestor, you've really got it figured out. I would be a fool to disobey, and I can't think of a better plan on.
Well, I think he was more following the Dennis system, from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's like,
yes,
I'm not going to kill all of her friends and family. It's the implication. Yeah.
I
But
could
it's
if
the
I
implication-
wanted to.
Should I be worried about these women? No. I'm not going to do anything.
You know, Spencer, you bring up the dentist system. He did demonstrate value by
Yeah.
owning property. He definitely engaged
Yeah,
physically
that's
multiple
true.
times.
What a man! What a man! What a man!
He
what
was
a
nurturing
mighty
dependence on her
man.
by coming to her when she was
Yes.
desperate, and then her always dreaming about him. He
He accepted-
definitely neglected her
Yeah,
emotionally.
Are you saying that when he was like stalking her dreams, he was love bombing her? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
And
yeah.
what's I again?
Okay.
It's an inspire hope. I'm not. That's the one where
No, he'd be
kinda-
like made her seem like they'd be happy together, like he would she would need.
the hope of him not killing
Yeah.
the rest of her friends.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
And that they were destined to be together.
And the last one, he failed. This is why Nosferatu died. He failed on separate entirely.
I mean, technically, they did separate entirely
Yeah.
from the Earth.
No,
well,
he died on top of her.
Also, how did he fail? He got her in the end. They both
No,
died.
but no, part of
Just
the
to
dentist
separate.
system is that once you're done, you separate entirely.
well, he can't. She can't like
Yeah,
when
that's
they're
the
dead,
S.
they're not together,
That's true. Semantics, though.
aren't they? No, I mean, I guess maybe.
All right.
Who knows?
You know what? Let's just get
Yeah.
off this
We
topic.
unpacked
I mean,
a
this movie
lot.
is a lot.
I feel
It's one of those movies where I'm going to be honest. When I watched it, I was like, okay. And then once I watched more video essays on it, I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of nice. It's deep. And some of those things I picked up on my own, not as many. But I like those things. I like when there's like
no one cares about your personal
What's
journey.
happening?
I want to ask
Sorry.
fucked up questions.
All
So
right.
shut
Help
up.
us.
First things first. We got to talk about the medicine in this movie. It is
Medicine?
on point. We see them ether
Yep.
Ellen. We see them
Yep.
make her wear corsets to keep the blood flow restricted. Then they
and to
bleed her,
and to calm her womb as well.
calm her womb. Yes, as all men know, calming a womb is just a matter of constricting a woman.
Just tying the corset. Yeah,
They
part
bleed
of
her.
course.
They
other-
bind her.
What other old timey?
They bind her.
Yeah.
They bind. Yeah.
What other old timey medicine should they have used to help Ellen?
They read.
Well,
Okay,
at one point he says, the Sievers, the doctor with the deepest voice in the history of space and time, he says, "Oh, this somnambulism cases is just a congestion of the blood. She has too much blood. I don't know why they didn't use leeches on her, at the very least."
That would have been a good one. Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
They could have.
And maybe Nosferatu could have eaten them as like snacks, the leeches.
Yeah,
I mean, did they
good for the good. For
even
sodium.
try cocaine? Did they even-
sodium?
Did they even try cocaine and
They did
opium?
not.
What kind of doctors are these?
And you
Opium
think
they
they
did.
would?
Opium they
They
did.
did?
Opium they did.
Oh, okay.
I thought they just did ether.
To make her like calm her. No.
No,
They
no.
used the opium.
You're right,
on
though,
her.
Spencer. I feel like Dr. Willem
Sievers?
von Helsing definitely did cocaine.
Yeah, he definitely had a stash.
Yeah.
He was always high
Bring
in
my-
this movie for sure.
Bring him my
100%.
cocaine vial.
They didn't try burning her. Like they sterilized the
She
the rod.
she can't be a witch if she's dead.
Yeah.
If
Does
she's
she
a
weigh
witch,
more than
she'll
a
float.
Does she weigh more than a duck? They didn't try
Oh,
that.
yes.
There are many methods.
I did like that they
Yes.
stabbed her through the hand.
Through the
to check if
arm.
She was in this realm or not.
No,
Yeah, through
not
the
just
arm.
not like, oh, let me show you she doesn't feel pain. No, I'm going to like
That wasn't a
run her
treatment.
through.
That was a demonstration.
It was
Yeah.
a medically
Yeah.
necessary test.
And it was so
Yeah.
confusing because after they impale her forearm, he starts
Yeah.
talking to her
Yeah.
like I didn't.
Yeah,
You didn't feel that.
she's
right?
she's not here, but I'm gonna stab her anyway.
And I'm gonna.
Oh
and
fuck,
then-
she's here.
and then I'm going to engage in conversation. I'm going to extract data. I'm going to investigate.
I appreciate that.
Also, shock therapy was missing.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that in the 1800s where like medicine we're still working on some shit.
Understatement
How
of the
did we
year.
survive as a species?
He
How
put it-
did we survive as a species? is
I
the
have no
question.
idea. But he puts a giant hole in their arm. Like, it's not like medicine now where you just stitch it up and you can monitor
No.
and heal it. It's like, hey man, like that's not a good
And
way
like
to.
he could have poked her in anywhere, but she's like in the middle of the forearm where there's
I like that he's
veins
like,
and
it's
shit.
just clearly a demo. He's like, as you can see, she's in a deep trance. Arm straight through her forearm.
Yeah.
And it's just like, was that necessary? He's like, and now you'll see she doesn't even feel when I put it through her eye.
Yeah.
What would
I'm
have
gonna
happened?
scoop her eye out with
Yeah.
a spoon and eat it. She's not gonna feel it.
What would have happened if it was written that he would impale her and she reacted and like, "God, what are you doing, you nincompoop?" And then what would have unfolded afterwards?
I think she
Nim-
stabs him in the eye with the.
Yeah, with the within her arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I would have watched that. That sounds
And he would
like
have been
fun.
fine because of all the cocaine he's injected. Actually, that's why they
Yeah.
didn't give her cocaine because he had used it all. So the stores were.
Oh, but it would have been cool if she
Dangerously
did
low.
that and then like he showed up in the later scenes with an eye patch.
Fine. Problem solved.
I would have.
Did they
We've
even
answered
use
this question. I
arsenic
think
and
that's-
mercury to treat venereal diseases?
One would
Did they
assume.
even try it?
What about dunking? Like dunk tanking into like water, like
Cold water? Yeah.
Baptizing?
baptizing, but like, or sometimes like they like literally into a pond or a lake, like forcefully dunking her, like putting stones and then pulling her back
wasn't
up.
that a thing for like hysteria? They cured hysteria.
Something.
I think it was
some
something
kind of
like
tank.
that. Yeah.
If, I don't know if they had access, but like
Yeah, they have hysteria. Dunked them in water. Are you calm? Are you calm yet?
Yeah. Listen, that's how it was in the 19th
Yes,
century.
yes, I'm fine.
Yeah, Chris, that sounds like too modern of a medicine technique for them to use at that time. Tanks of water? Come on.
He's
Get
a
out of your
witch.
ass.
Just tie a rock to her chest and jump it in the river. That's what they would have
and
done.
if you come back up, everything will be.
Yeah, you're not a witch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a foolproof system. Hey, we bagged on this movie a while, and I do want to know what this movie got right.
I'll see you guys
The
later.
dong, for sure.
What?
The dong.
I know.
Anatomically correct dongage.
At what point did that? I honestly,
Wasn't it on
I'm
the
so
boat?
glad I didn't see that.
No,
That was-
no, it
when
was
did the
when
dog-
Thomas
Oh,
first
that
went
It
in
was
his
when
sleeping room.
he was feeding
His
from
bedroom?
Thomas.
Oh, wow.
You get to see it, and then he does that whole
Wow.
thing. That scene is disgusting.
Wow.
Good
I'm glad I
times.
missed that. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Okay.
I think that what
What
did
did
this
he
movie
get
get
right?
right? I think it really was period accurate to have all these old English actors talk in Old English the entire time while in a
Yeah, that
German
was an
town.
odd choice.
Because
and
they
Craven.
did say hair knock and hair
And
Hutter
Fräulein.
and
Yeah,
hair.
with the most and Frau.
And Frau.
Yep.
Yeah, with the most British accent you've ever heard. Even Craven tried to do a British accent for a while.
He is British. He didn't
Yeah.
try.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
he's
know, man.
English.
Aaron Taylor Johnson is English. Yeah,
Yes.
wouldn't have convinced me. I thought
Yeah.
he was American.
Is he British? Are you sure?
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's,
Yes, he
that's
is.
weird.
100%. That's
That
bad.
is
Like, what's
unfortunate.
your-
They even.
Oh,
Mhm.
I like that. They like everybody spoke like, including Nosferatu, spoke another language, which was Romanian, which makes sense, right? But when Nosferatu was the only one who spoke the way that he did when he spoke English, and I think they got that right because that was appropriate. Or sorry, that was appropriate.
Nice. No, say it in Romanian.
Yeah,
That's-
sure.
I don't actually could have learned because my whole side of the family.
What do we watch? Your life story?
No one cares. Yeah.
Yeah, I just told you my life story in a sentence.
This movie,
Boo Earns.
in terms of what else it got right, it
Yeah.
actually got me to really appreciate, and it made me remember the awe of shadows, like shadows, like magical shadows, mysterious shadows. Really.
Dong shadows.
Okay. Well, you
Shadow,
guys keep saying
shadow
it, but
puppets.
I've been spared because I did not see that, thank goodness. But like, to your point, like to the point of shadows, like in the early scenes, or like the first quarter of the movie, when, or rather first like 15 minutes of the movie, she calls collect and he accepts the charges, and then there's the shadow of him in the curtain. I wasn't expecting that, and it felt right, and I was actually, how did they do that? And then when he finally crosses
CGI.
over, sure, but in that moment I was just like, whoa. And then like when he crosses over finally, yes. And then when he crosses over finally, and then he's trying to cast out and find her exact location, shadow GPS. That was really cool.
I hated that
I
scene.
liked it. I just
It
like
looked
that
so
moment.
fake.
Just
It
the
looked
moment.
so fake.
Just the moment.
It
That
looked
was
fake.
real, Luciano.
Oh, what? He actually projected a shadow the size of the city.
Yeah.
I see.
Shadow
My bad.
the Hedgehog.
It reminds me also, and also Shadow
Shadow of the
Jutsu,
Colossus.
Naruto.
Oh my god! I was just
We lost
naming
it.
things with shadow in there.
Actually,
And that's what we liked about
Let's
the
move to a
movie.
more serious question. We're gonna get real serious with this question. Next question.
I don't believe you.
It's fine. It's not that serious, but I do want to know, because Thomas is like, I gotta get rich for my wife and our future family. Cool, I'm on
Right.
board. But like, at what point are you just like, hey, you know what, Nosferatu, I'm a head out.
At what point? Let's see. At the point where he arrives at some gypsy town and everybody just fucking bolts afterwards, after he has some weird dream about a naked woman in a horse that has no bearing in the rest of the story. We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think that's when I would have bailed. I was like, you know what? I don't need the money that much.
I mean,
I'll just leave.
I think
I was gonna say
go
I
ahead,
would have bailed
Spencer.
when it was like, you got to go get this guy's signature, and I was gonna be like, yeah, sure, where? And they're like, in whatever our version of Transylvania is, and then
they literally said
was it?
Transylvania.
Oh, they didn't even change it.
on
Yeah.
the map, it
Oh
was
yeah,
upside
and
down.
then, and then I
watch
would have
this
been like,
movie?
okay, cool,
Your video didn't your videos tell you what the name of the country was?
quite you. And then I would have said, how far is that? And they're gonna say 3 to 4
6
months
weeks.
there and back. And I've been like, you know what? I'm good. And that's probably where I would have bailed.
I'll be poor.
Yeah, I'll be
It's
poor.
okay.
Like at this time like that we're in now, there's a good chance I die of friggin' like exposure. Yeah, or like scurvy on my way there.
You're wrong.
Scurvy. They're going by
I didn't
by
bring
sea.
oranges, okay?
It's cool. That's cool. Up until the point where I guess there were horses for that carriage, but that carriage just shows up across the road.
Yeah.
It just like appears out of nowhere, and there's like no driver or anything. I'd be
Yeah.
like,
Pass.
But at that, yes,
I'm gonna go die in this forest.
But you're committed at
But it
that
was
point.
too-
You're so close.
He
No,
wasn't
you're not that committed.
He wasn't committed. He was entranced at that point, and it was too late. So I agree that when he was at the inn and he lost his horse, and then everybody dipped, like that would have been like,
It was so weird, right? It was like, why did everybody leave?
They stole his horse, which is fair. I don't believe that he was entranced. I think he was entranced by money.
Yeah.
But I would be
100%.
like, nah, I'm good.
He
This.
or was he on the verge of like collapsing because he was trying to make the rest of the he was trying to accomplish the last leg of the journey?
Not at that point when the horse showed up. He just was
So
fine.
I have to
Looked out
say
of
though,
it to me, but okay.
the last possible point where it would have been logical for him to dip was when Nosferatu presents him with a giant scroll full of gibberish and says, "It's my ancestors' language," and he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna sign this. I don't have to read it.
He
I trust
hesitated.
you."
I would have forged a signature. I would have written his boss's signature.
He'd be like,
then
wait,
I would
your
be like-
name is Ronald McDonald? Yes.
He's like, yes,
Yes.
my lord.
Yes,
my
I
lord.
will have a legacy. You just watch.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
He's German. It's Ronald von McDonald.
Ronald von Hitler McDonald.
Oh, no.
Oh boy.
So-
Too far. No, I think we just have to stop here and move on. Nosferatu. Why doesn't he have cooler powers? Because he has the ability to be outside of his coffin, as we saw in the
Is
boat.
that a power?
Right.
And
He has the ability of
Sure.
being a corpse.
Yeah. Well, it is a power in the sense that he like the thing was sealed, and how did he get out of here? Right. I don't know. But what else does he? What other powers does he even pull off?
Well,
like
he seems to.
he
He has a shadow hand.
Shadow
He has a
control.
shadow hand.
Does he like do something to someone with a
jutsu.
shadow at one point? Is that
Nope,
a different
not
movie
that I
I'm
saw.
thinking of?
No.
If he did, that would have been dope.
yes.
Yeah, and you're thinking of Naruto. Anyways, yes.
God damn it! I don't like it, but he's right.
Jutsu!
Yes. Kage Bushin no Jutsu.
Yeah.
Nimpo.
He teleports.
Yeah.
It seems.
Help us.
Remember, he's like
That's
talking on
true,
one
yeah.
side, and then
he
he's
just
like on the
appears
other
in
side of him.
places.
But he just does it to talk
And he can
coolly.
fly.
He also
Does
has
he fly?
a fucking Robotnik ass mustache as a power.
He does.
For mustache
Well,
rides.
Dusty ass clothes. Like he's got no drip.
I thought his
whatsoever.
drip was pretty cool.
No.
That's not
Zero
no.
Riz.
No, zero Riz.
What?
He's been
no,
he's been wearing that shit since like the
I could
1700s.
smell that jacket. It smells like
Yeah.
mothballs.
Yes.
What other powers does he have?
Well, his power is also the power of being decrepit.
Those are powers.
Yeah, that's what I said. The power of being a corpse.
Is
Okay.
that a power?
Well,
I have that power.
Can he fly? Did he
Has,
show up?
has the power of having really long hands too.
Did he show up? That's fair. Did he show up to Ellen's like house on the second floor? Or did he like knock on the door and come in?
And
He
what's
comes
the deal
in
with
through
that?
the window.
No,
What
he just
the
He
teleported.
deal?
sees silhouette through the window at one
He
point.
teleported in.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's all
So he
over
can
the place.
fly.
He doesn't have the whole you have to be invited in for sure.
Oh, I guess
He has
not.
psychic,
Okay. That
obviously
was the question.
psychic powers. He makes people go
Sure.
crazy.
Powers of suggestion and so on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how he controlled Knock and made him
Yeah.
crazy and
Yeah.
shit.
And that's how he like communicates with.
I think Craven went crazy on his own.
Do you?
Yes.
Because he was sleeping with the gun, and he's like, "You will not wake up."
He's like,
Well,
Oh,
but
that's
like,
fair.
oh no.
listen, Craven was the only normal person in
I
this.
just imagine
That's saying
Thomas being like,
something.
"Oh no, Nosferatu made my friend go crazy and bang his dead wife." And he's like, "I did it. It was me."
It was all me.
Yeah, so you're right. He had the power of suggestion, and he could maybe
So
fly.
what's his best power or worst
But
power?
like,
So
I know
why
it's-
doesn't he have cooler
I asked why he didn't
powers?
have cooler powers, but we haven't got there yet.
Well, because we're not going to get there. But his other power is the power of telenetworking, because, or I should say, VoIP, because this is how he was able to pick up Ellen's early call and accept said charges.
I really like how I asked why he didn't have cooler powers, and you're like, nope, we're not talking about that. We're going to talk about this thing I
Well,
want to talk about. That's his real superpower.
I mean,
You're welcome.
I don't know about you guys. I thought he was pretty OP.
I'm
Like,
here
he was
for
never
it.
really
I
like
do
he
it
was
with
never really
love.
threatened by anything or anyone through the entire movie.
Yeah, that's
one,
true.
No one shot him.
But I don't know if that's because he was OP or because everybody else was shit. Like, it's not necessarily because he was very powerful. Because who did he have going against him?
Thomas.
He had
Thomas.
fucking Sievers.
yeah.
Thomas
Sievers-
who's...
I can't even say Sears ever went against him. Sears was lost. He had no idea.
He was just going with this teacher, right?
Yeah.
Basically. And then you had Willem von Dafoe Helsing,
And then
who was just in it for the fun. Let's be honest here. He was just running around for the fun.
And then there's also the crew on the ship. Like the one guy's like, "I'm putting an end to this," but then got the Orlok got the jump on him. That's his only ability. He's like, what is it, misdirection and getting the jump.
Thomas
on people,
didn't Thomas
period.
try to stab him in his crypt?
He woke up and grabbed
He
him.
was
Twice.
pretty-
Once in Transylvania, and he woke
Yes.
up and he basically beat the shit out of Thomas. And Thomas ran away. And then he tried to do it in Weisberg, but that's when he stabbed Lord of the Rats.
Yeah, that's when he woke up and fucking Knock was LARPing
Yeah.
as Nosferatu. Hey, what are you doing? Yeah.
I'm in character.
Let me ask you a different question because I'm curious about this one.
Main character.
What? I'm confused about the term.
Yes.
The term Nosferatu uses. She must come of her own free will.
Damn right, she must.
And what does that legally mean in the 1800s? Because he says it and then he proceeds to blackmail and torture her to get her to come. It doesn't feel.
Don't forget threaten.
Well, he does threaten her.
Are you saying she was coerced? Is that what you're saying?
Just a little bit. And so if that's true, she is coerced. Doesn't that make whatever covenant they have of coming of her own free will null and void?
Yeah, maybe that's why he died.
Well, also,
I think at the time, saying a woman must choose of her own free will was kind of like
He's
ironic.
asking her husband.
It's kind of like a joke.
Yeah. Oh.
Like
you must come
that's
of
what
her
was-
own
that was
free
written-
will.
law.
Yeah, it was written in
LOL.
the, yeah, it was. It's just von Franz didn't know the equivalent in Romanian for lol.
Yeah.
LOL.
think
Could
that's
you
what-
imagine women having rights?
Yeah.
LAMFAO.
Yeah.
Women's rights.
LOL. Can you believe that? I'm with Elon.
You want a woman? Do you want the woman to come of her own free will? Ask her husband.
Big Tate fan.
Which he did. Let's be honest. He did. He's bought her from.
That was her
the-
free will.
Yeah.
By that
Him
point,
selling her was
Yeah.
her free
So
will.
that was it. Once he did that, then he could just threaten her because the free will was
Yeah.
already gone. That's
Yeah.
what we're going with.
Women's
there
free
we
will
go.
at the time was
Okay.
much like Santa Claus. No one really believed in it.
What? Jesus Christ.
Why? Okay.
You have
But-
to believe in it for it to be real.
Save us, Chris.
Save us all.
It was like women's free will was like
I said
Santa
save us,
Claus.
Chris.
will be
Not
the golden
Deus
child
Luciano.
of this
All right,
moment. The whole antithesis of it was beautifully executed when like he's like, but your husband ain't worth shit. He sold you for a bag of ducks. And then she's like, what? First of all, fuck you and fuck Thomas. I still love him and I don't give a shit about that. And he's like, damn it, you can three things.
Yeah,
I've been
that's
thwarted.
true.
And then
That's
she's like,
true.
fuck you. You got nothing. He's like, I shall terrorize you. She's like, still, fuck you. And I take back what I said. That was the moment, the most get up out of my seat moment and favorite moment of the movie, because everything was so blurry and all over the place until that moment. Because like I was like, fuck you, Orlok. Nothing is making sense.
Chris,
except
did you
for this
enjoy
moment.
when Orlok was like, fuck me, fuck you, I'm going to eat your friend's kids, eat
No.
your
Hide your
friend,
kids. Hide your
make
wife.
your
I'm
friend.
gonna have some rats thrown on your friend, and then your friend's husband's gonna fuck her after she's dead.
Yeah.
She stood up for herself, and I absolutely loved that.
Yeah, I
part.
like that too.
I loved it. I didn't like what followed, but like after everything that had taken
was
place,
funny,
I
though.
was like, yeah, it was hilarious and
He sold me
powerful.
to you. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Foiled.
My great plan. My plan was 5 years in the making.
So- We've been
What am I
beating
doing
around-
about my deed?
We've been beating around the bush on this, and we really got to tackle it. What is the deal with Ellen?
Oh, forehead whip.
What is the deal? Yeah.
Boo, boo, boo,
Well-
boo, 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 doo, 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 doo.
I was gonna sing the whole thing.
You can answer the question.
You're supposed to do
Yeah.
your Jerry Seinfeld over top of that. You fool.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I feel like it should be left to you or Luciana for some reason.
What's the deal
Wait, what?
with racist anti-Semitic man?
Only you Jews can do impressions of each other. What the fuck
that's-
is wrong with you?
That's tasteful.
Yeah. Okay. What's the deal with Ellen? Is that the question?
Yeah, that's what the question
Ellen
was.
is like a
Yeah.
less crazy Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres
I
burned
don't
here
think
for
that
it.
works. Try again. Try again.
Burn Ellen
Yeah.
DeGeneres.
Ellen DeGeneres burned herself by
Yeah.
being a real
She's a
piece of
nicer
shit.
Ellen.
So try again.
than Ellen DeGeneres.
Okay, so Ellen supposedly has some affinity and a very a deep connection to
The
mysticism
occult.
and
She's
the
got ESP.
occult.
Yep.
And that, okay, cool.
Hey, it's not your turn.
But they paint her, or the movie paints her, the story paints her as just afflicted. Like from the beginning of the movie, it made it seem to me like she was always in thrall. I think that's the right term, enthralled by Orlok Dracula or whatever. But then we learn, thanks to Von Defoe Helsing, that it's her ability. She has ability of her own, and to me that was wildly fascinating. So to your point,
ability
what's
of
the
being
deal?
stabbed in the arm and not feeling anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Walken entered the chat. Yeah.
Oh, here you go. Nothing to do with this question, but that was something missing in this movie, and was Christopher Walken in this movie would have
He
been
would have fit.
Yeah.
Well, I think what you're saying,
It
Chris,
would.
is the theme of the movie, which is like, again, it's like at the time, like women had no agency, right? They had no
Yes.
Matt, don't you nod your head at me.
And I was already nodding my head when Chris started answering it. It's not supposed to be serious. You pieces
We
of
should
shit.
mix it up.
Let's tag team it. So all I was saying is that they set her up this way, and then it unfolds that way, and the deal with her is flip floppy. But what I would also say is that my craving for seeing
you're craving?
her.
Craven? You're
My-
Craven?
I was
You're
craving.
Craven?
I had a craving for more Craven of her leveraging more of her abilities, as opposed to it just felt like choices. It all just felt like it was boiling down to the power of choice, as opposed to seeing her abilities unfold. I was hopeful for that.
Matt, save us. Oh, he's muted.
Oh.
No, you fuckers deserve to burn in hell. and I
What's
hope
the
you
deal with
die.
Ellen? She's fucking got powers, but she can't control them until the end of the movie, and then boom.
Great,
And
great
you know what her
answer,
power
Spencer.
was?
Unrelated to that.
The power to bang.
Unrelated to everything you're talking about. No, unrelated. We're just gonna move on off to a different question that I want to talk about, and that question is:
Brought to you
What?
by our sponsor.
what would Dr. William Van Helsing Defoe be doing in modern times?
He'd be seeking
would-
the Necronomicon.
That's still the same
I
thing.
don't know. What? He was
Exactly.
doing that already.
No difference. I mean, they
he
still
didn't
haven't
find
found it.
so
That's
he's still
true.
looking. I think that's a fair answer.
But do you know where he would be looking?
I think he would
Up
have.
your butt?
I think he would have a program called InfoWars.
Oh.
I think that's what. He would have.
Yeah, oh.
Wow, why you gotta put that on him?
I don't even know what that is. So I have to side Google it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me tell you all about these ghosts from another time. I once knew a Dracula. They called him Nosferatu, and I could put a stake through a woman's arm, and it's all big lizard people are making Draculas.
It's all
They're all
crisis
crisis
actors.
And it was an inside job, just so fucking they could get Christopher Lloyd to bang some chick.
Oh,
Christopher Lloyd.
how dare
What?
you?
What did Doc Brown do
Because
to
that's
you?
what the old Nosferatu looked like.
Oh my god! No, not Mr. Lloyd.
Splash damage for no
Not
reason.
The
Sweet
legend
Mr.
Christopher Lloyd. World renowned,
No,
most loved character actor Christopher Lloyd.
beloved. No.
He's working for the woke mob.
This is my fault. I'm asking a different question again.
Interdimensional Or take your favorite actors from 1980s movies.
He can't be
Making them have
stopped.
sex.
The Prince of Rats. Now, the Prince of Rats. We're here.
It's so random.
Who? What is the Prince of not? Herr Knock was like, I was to be the Prince of Rats, but who? Prince of Rats? What? Prince of Rats? Why Prince of Rats? How? Prince of Rats? When? Prince of Rats?
Let me tell you about the Prince of Rats.
What?
The globalist elites.
Oh,
I want you to know.
You just sound macho man. ass.
Yeah, you do.
Oh yeah,
Makes sense.
Oh
me.
yeah.
William Dafoe, Alex Jones.
Hell yeah, brother.
Cream of the
Oh, now
crop.
it's Hulk Hogan on top of everything
the
else.
cream of the crop. What you fail to understand is that all of this bloodletting
Oh God.
results in high sodium counts.
The Prince of the Rap.
You know what?
Baby.
You know
Sorry.
what?
Prince of Rats.
Let's just
Run with
eject.
it.
No, what Spencer? Why don't you give me your review of this movie?
He gave up.
We're out of here.
We've browbeaten him.
Let me tell you, brother. Sorry.
It's the only way. The only way out is through. Go through.
Matt, I apologize. I yield.
Answer
You
the
want-
fucking
you want me to give-
question.
Yeah.
What was your
Really?
review of
I
this
thought you were
movie?
joking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Pass
all
it
right.
now.
I broke the podcast.
He gave up.
I'm a professional. I segue at the
Okay.
perfect time.
This
Only.
may be
Hot tamale.
divisive
Schrodinger segue.
or divisive, but I did not hate this movie as much as my comrades.
Don't use that word.
Comrades.
The comrades. I thought this movie was pretty good. Like I said, if I'm being honest, I really liked the beginning, and I thought the ending was interesting and like unique, weirdly like beautiful in a weird way, but also horrifying. But the middle dragged a lot. So the middle I was like kind of in and out of it in terms of like interest. So I'm gonna give this movie a B because it's way too well made
Oh.
to deserve any
my
lower.
God.
It is such a well made movie.
That's
Fuck you.
Let's ask someone else who definitely doesn't have a dissenting opinion. Luciano.
what? I was very disappointed by this movie. I expected from reading about it. I didn't read reviews per se, but I read about it. It's really scary, and I was like, okay, let's see if it's a proper. Because I know the original movie at the time, was literally 100 years ago, was actually well received. But I thought maybe they made it, into an actual scary movie, and I was mostly bewildered, and and at the end just underwhelmed by the whole thing. I think I agree with Spencer. It's very well. It's very pretty. Like the stylization of it is very good, but I think it's to the detriment of the movie because it felt like Roger Baconator, whatever his name is. He focused too much on how it looked, and he gave it like it was pretty but no substance, in my opinion.
Just like you, Luciano.
Ellen, yes, pretty but no substance. But I
Bitch,
thought,
you leave
like-
him alone.
I thought like the acting, like Ellen's character, I don't know if it was her fault or not, but it was all over the place. I could not connect with the character. It just didn't understand anything she was doing. Like it was nonsensical, and once I saw the Robotnik mustache, I lost all respect for Locke too. So it's a very, like, I'm gonna be very kind and give it a D. That's it
Wow.
for me. Yeah.
He had a mustache
Chris.
because Vlad the Impaler had a mustache. Fuck.
It didn't have to look like Robotnik. Chris?
Yes. This movie broke our podcast.
Oh, it was broken before.
No. We watched this movie, and I showed up last week. I showed up last week to a tumbleweeds of like my fellow castmates were not to be found. And then I looked at our chat, our podcast chat, and everyone was stupefied. I was stupefied too. And like they were, and the takeaway was like, guys, let's skip this week and come back to it. And you know what? That's what this movie does to you. It discombobulates you. My review of this movie is just a reflection of the confusion and the mystical powers of one Orlok. And there's a question we never asked, but here's the answer. Forget it.
What the fuck was
Forget
that?
it. Forget this movie. Forget this movie ever existed. Don't let it usurp your time, your energy. Hide your wife, hide your kids. And I literally looked up the Denny's menu to get a sense of why I can't shake this visage of Orlok and his character design when he's naked. Every time he was naked, he looked to me like he was like a burnt piece of bacon in a Denny's back kitchen that fell on the ground, got hair on it, and it was thrown on someone's plate. That's what this movie was. This movie was an F.
What?
Wow. Yeah, like this is okay. This is the most Chris review
You
I've
guys
ever heard.
are
But okay.
so
Hey, man.
handsome.
Everyone's allowed to do their thing, man.
Nice.
Way
nice
to bring it back.
And I
That's team
appreciate
spirit. That's team
the
spirit.
positivity.
Yes, and
I think legally Robert Eggers should be allowed to make movies.
legally.
I don't. I watched 2 or 3 of them, or 2 at least, The Northman and this one. I don't hate his movies. I just come out of them not knowing how to feel. Stylistically, they're beautiful. They're always gorgeous. Everything they do around the movie is very pretty. But he's just like weirdly horny.
Yeah.
And like the point to his story, I cannot capture the point to his stories. I don't know what it is. I can't figure it out. So kudos to the people who can, or they watch the cover or the videos to tell them what's going on.
I'll be sending
don't
you
know.
those links.
I'm not gonna watch another video. I should be, if I can't figure it out, I'm not interested. And so I say all this to be like, it's not a bad film. It's just not for me. And so I would give it a C. I'm sure someone can find something in it. It's a well-made film. It's just, I'm confused, and I don't know why I'm here still.
Goodbye.
Maybe Chris is right. Maybe he did break the podcast.
Maybe it did.
But we're gonna bounce back.
Yeah, we're gonna bounce back
Rise
because
from the ashes.
we have decided to go from a very popular film that a lot of people watched in 2024 and 2025. We got back in time 10 years to watch a fan-made film only available on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It is Street Fighter. What is it, Chris? Rise of the
Assassin's
Cauldron?
Fist.
Assassin's Fist.
Tongue of Fury.
Shoryuken!
Tongue of Fury.
Well, no, but
It is
could have.
Street Fighter Rise of the Assassin. That is the actual title.
No,
That's right.
Assassin's Fist.
God damn it.
Assassin's
This is
Fist.
why
It's
you all
okay.
can't talk. Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. It is technically a miniseries, but there is a full, they're all connected to make a movie about 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
That we're going to watch and cover. And hopefully we'll still do podcasts after that.
I'm gonna say it. It's good. This is gonna bring us back. I have a feeling. From this,
Yeah,
it's gonna bring us back
but
from this.
also we just have the last 5 minutes that you were talking as, examples of things that you think. So
Wow.
Trust.
Luciano,
You were supposed
talk-
to say handsome, but
you
this
talk
is
from a position of you have good taste.
well,
And
I
while-
picked this movie. I
And
didn't know
while you
about
might
it.
be handsome, you have some picks of very shitty movies. So
Oh yeah, I'm saying it takes one to know one.
those who live in glass houses
how did
shouldn't throw rocks and
How did
nuclear
Luciano
weapons.
describe this movie? Looks good, but lacks substance. Still
Yes.
tracks.
Just like me.
Looks good, feels good.
It doesn't feel good.
Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. Watch it.
Hadouken!
Love it. Get Hadoukened. Bye.
Bye.
But